One, two, one, two. It's your boy, Jeff Jones.
You know who it is. It's the upset specialist in the building, Thomas Boykin.
All right, all right. Always and forever who, Mr. Mike Jones.
And this is 234 Sports Talk. Fellas, let's talk about it.
Let's get at it.
Man,
Let's go.
fellas, September 13th, it's going down. Canelo Alvarez versus Bud Crawford. My goodness, it's going down, you all, in Las Vegas. It's going down. I mean, I'm excited about this one. Now, we know the story. Bud Crawford has gone up two weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez. Man, as we look at this, fellas, I want your take on this. What do you think about this? Do you think that Bud is biting off more than he can chew? Or do you think that Bud will shock the world September 13th in Las Vegas?
I think Bud is going to shock the world. I don't think he bit off anything more than he can chew. A true boxer understands what's going on and how things are going on. But I think he's prepared for this. And I think he was the initially one that called Canelo out in the first place. So he absolutely knows what he's biting off. So don't get it twisted. Bud will come in this fight prepared to go to war. And if I know Bud, he's going to try to keep his knockout ratio just like it is. He's going to try to knock Canelo out. I guarantee at some point in this fight, he's going to try to knock Canelo out. But in Canelo's defense, Bud ain't fought an animal like Canelo. And Canelo does have the power to knock him out if he catches him right. He can put Crawford to sleep. Believe that. Believe that. So with Crawford coming in, and he does have pretty solid defense, but he's been prone to get hit every now and then. If you make a mistake with Canelo, it could cost you. But I'm still giving this fight, in my book, if he does what he's supposed to do, I think Crawford wins this fight. What you got on it, man, Mike Jones?
Well, hey man, this is gonna be a huge fight, man. It's gonna be globally on Netflix, so we know how fights go on Netflix. But anyway, anyway, man, what September the 13th? Am I correct?
Yes, sir. September 13th, sir.
Yeah, September the 13th. So Canelo Alvarez, I think, this is his undisputed super middleweight
Mm-hmm.
bout, whatever. This is all about him. I think it's I think it's for him to sit, mess it up or lose. Crawford, he's a good fighter, man. Not gonna take anything away from him. And Thomas, I agree with everything you said on the analysis of both fighters, but at the same time, man, I think Canelo, man, this is his fight to lose. I just don't see him losing this. He is gonna be on the big stage. Some people probably doubt him like you are, Tom. But I think he's gonna get it done. I think it's gonna go the distance. But at the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez is gonna win this boxing match.
Fellas, Bud Crawford is coming up two weight classes. Okay. And let me throw this in the mix. The promoter, the Sheik, I'm just calling him Sheik because I'm not gonna mess up his name. The Sheik says that there's gonna be a knockout bonus because last fight Canelo had, it was a joke. The guy was running around and dancing the whole fight all night. So he said there's going to be a knockout bonus because he wants to see some action. So if one of these guys is to get knocked out, that the guy who knocks him out is going to get a big bonus. I don't know what it's going to be. They haven't revealed it. So, fellas, as we look at that with this knockout bonus, do you think that it's going to be, that incentive there is going to be there to get this knockout bonus? You think that that's going to put Bud Crawford in the danger zone with Canelo?
I think it might put Canelo in the danger zone with Crawford. Because believe you me, Crawford ain't one to run from mixing it up. He's already showed that. Now, the one thing that concerns me about Canelo is when he fights somebody that's a legitimate threat, like Triple G. And Triple G dropped some pretty good shots on him. I think Bud has that same capability, if not a little faster. So either one can be knocked out. Both of them have the power to knock each other out. It's just a matter of setup and timing. So I still think I still think your boy still has a chance. I think Bud still comes out victorious in this one. I think he comes up two weight classes, puts on a show. He may not knock out Canelo, but he's gonna put up some points. I think he's gonna point him, and if the knockout comes, it comes. What you got on it, MJ?
Well, my thing with that, Jeff, man, what you said is chic. When you see him put something out there like that, you hope that as the manager of these two boxes, you hope that that's not their focus is going in that fight and trying to knock their opponent out because you can sit up there and be so focused on that and not actually box. And that would be my only fear of this with both guys. So I'm hoping so to give an advantage on somebody. I hope that's I just hope that's not the mindset of either boxer. So as far as who can actually get it done, I think it's just gonna be dictated by the fight within itself. I honestly don't think neither boxer gonna go in there and that's his intention. But if it does happen, if it does happen, I think Bud probably has that advantage, but I don't think it will.
Well, Bud Crawford, I don't know if you all are keeping up on this, but Bud Crawford has been in there with the likes of Mr. Floyd Mayweather. And we know what Floyd Mayweather did to Canelo. And a lot of people going to argue and talk about, that he was weight drained and this and that. But Floyd got in there and dominated him. Floyd put on a master class, a boxing exhibition, if you will. He taught a lesson to Canelo. Um, do you think that I like Bud Crawford. I really like Bud Crawford. I think if anybody could pull this off, it'll be Bud Crawford. But this is gonna be a tough task, man. Coming
Mm-hmm.
up two weight classes, man, to a guy that's Canelo. He got a tough chin. So I think this is gonna be tough for Bud.
I expect. I'm almost expecting a brawl. I'm almost expecting a brawl, but I know Bud is a tactician. Canelo as well. Canelo is also a tactician. He picks and chooses his spots when he wants to go and when he doesn't want to. Same with Bud. I think Bud is going to flirt with that left-handed style too a little bit. I think he's going to flirt, switching back and forth, right and left. That's what makes him exceptionally dangerous because he can go either way and knock you out with either hand. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a big chess match, basically. It's going to be who's got the timing, who's going to set everything up, and how they set everything up. It's going to be a big dictation of how this fight goes.
Man, when you talk about fighters going up in weight class, I mean, I think about Roy Jones. I think about Thomas Hitman Hearn. To me, I mean, they kind of both did had a little bit of success in it, but I think to me, Thomas Hitman, I think in my opinion, he had the most success with it. When you start flirting around with going up in weight class, then you talking about going the distance or battling it out. I think it works against you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going into a battle. I think if you moved up a couple weight classes, I think your best bet is to try and finish that thing early, quick, and fast. Maybe you sit and like you said, Jeff, you try and get that knockout, so you don't got to get the distance. Because I'm telling you, and then granted, I know they train, probably against heavier boxers, but until you actually get in the ring and you actually do it, phys- physicality is something else. It weighs on you mentally as well. You get a bigger guy, man, that he's been doing this for a minute. This stuff, it actually weighs on you. So I don't know, man. I just think, man, Canelo is this is more his to lose.
So what I'm hearing Mr. Boykin. You think that Bud Crawford is gonna pull it off, and Mr. Mike Jones, I'm hearing from you. that you think Canelo is going to come out victorious September 13th?
Absolutely.
And I'm torn. I'm on the fence, fellas. Like I said, I believe that if anybody can do it, Bud Crawford can do it. But until it's done, you got. They say, "Show me the money." You got to show me.
It's all
And I just
speculation.
don't know, man. Like I said, if anybody can do it, he can do it. But the thing is can you get in there and can you do what you do, through the whole fight without getting caught? And that's my only question. If he gets caught, how is he gonna react? How is he gonna react? Now I think that Canelo gonna be able to take his power. I really do, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to take Canelo's power. So I'm split down the middle, man. I really don't know, man. I don't know. But my gut telling me that Canelo gonna win this fight. I think he
I
is.
can see that. I can see that. But I think Canelo has been a little hesitant with pulling the trigger on this fight as well, because I think he has some legitimate concerns because he's not getting in the ring with no slouch either.
No
So
doubt.
you're talking about a guy that's just been owning every division he's been in. So he's obviously got some skill.
He's dangerous. No doubt.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll see. And like I said at the beginning, same token, Bud hasn't fought anybody like Canelo, which makes it interesting. It makes an interesting chess battle. And I'm sure Canelo is probably looking at the tapes and sees, okay, Bud starts slow historically. Let me jump out on the gas the first round and make him think quicker. That could actually happen.
See, Tom, that's why I think Bud could probably have the some advantage. He's got to take advantage of his quickness and his elusiveness. He's got to sit up there and make Canelo kind of chase him in the ring. Because sometimes, even though you didn't picked up a little bit of weight and whatnot, your mentality is still to be able to move around. But what point does if it's not working early in the rounds, now you feel six, 7 round, and this guy's still standing, and you're like, whoa, what do I do now? Now you got to stand toe to toe with this dude he's used to fighting it this way. His stamina is built off of his weight to be able to handle 10 rounds or whatever, So the mentality part start focusing on, Crawford, So I just like Jeff said, until it's done, we'll see, And if it's done, I mean, and then my thing is, if it is done, if one beats the other, where do we go from here? Where does that boxer go from there? Do one sit up there and say, "Hey, I'm going to continue to fight it this way"? Does the other one sit up there and say, "Man, I got beat, and this was my championship fight"? Is it going to be the fall of Canelo, or is it the rise of Crawford? Where do we go from this fight?
Well, fellas, we shall see. September 13th, it's going down in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
Fellas, our other bit of news we want to talk about and discuss is the New York Knicks. They have hired Mike Brown, Coach Mike Brown, formerly of Sacramento Kings. Uh, we know the story there, but he's the new coach of the New York Knicks. As we look at this story right here with Mike Brown being hired by the New York Knicks, fellas, do you think that this is going to be a upgrade for the New York Knicks, or do you think that this is going to backfire on the New York Knicks? What do you think about this? What's your take, fellas?
I think this is going to be a culture shock for New York because, granted, Brown is solid, but The year he won the championship, he had a whole lot of help with LeBron James and crew that he had to win a championship. So he had a pretty loaded squad to do that. Now, since he's been away from Cleveland, he's won on the staff with Steve Kerr at Golden State. He's gone to Sacramento and got Sacramento turned around a few years, and now we're in New York. So now here's the thing. Are we going to change the culture that New York has now, or are we going to maintain the culture that they got there? Because the culture that they have now got them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Are we going to change that culture and try to make them score more points and make them more defensively vulnerable? Who knows? All I know is Mike Brown is an offensive mind. He's not a defensive mind. Because anybody that played with Golden State knows they have moments where their defense shines, but primarily they're known for offense. They're known for putting the ball in the basket. Now, what could very well happen is that Brown comes in and institutes more scores on his team, which could jack up his score and make people play harder defense on him, or he can go defensive minded and less offense and focus more on shutting people down and score less points. Fans dictate, we want to see points. So we're going to see which way Brown goes with his culture building. I know he's got a couple pieces that are capable, but you got to go more than 5 or 6 deep. And I think Mike Brown is going to bring that to the table for New York. I think he's going to build some kind of character building for his bench to where they have an opportunity to play so that they don't have to worry about going 5 or 6 deep in a playoff run, and they can rotate bodies in and make a more effective run. But I think for the most part, Brown he'll be a decent pick for New York. I think it'll work out. I think they'll wind up pretty much right back in the same boat. I don't think there'll be more. I don't think there'll be less. I think they'll be even keel. I think that's just my personal opinion. I think they'll have another successful season next year, and we'll see how that goes. What you got on it, MJ?
Yeah, Brown, man, he's like I said, he's a journeyman type of a coach that's been around for a minute. Um, I think this was a good hire, buzz, whatever. I think it's a safe pick for a head coach. For his success in New York, I think a lot has to do with some players and his, like you said, Tom, his options at scoring, ball dominant, with the point guard. I think you got Cat as the number two, needs to switch around. So hopefully he can change some philosophy. Hopefully he can change up some rotation. Hopefully they can see and get some key pieces. I think some things have got to change with the players' standpoint, and he's got to change some mentality with the point guard. And I think they probably can get back. Maybe I don't know, man. New York. I don't know. I don't know if they can get back to the Eastern Conference Championship game. Some tell me they're not gonna make it back. Now, would that be the fault of Brown? It's always hard getting back to championship games, whether it's the conference or the finals. I just don't see them getting back. And I think they probably gonna take a step back, but it doesn't mean that Brown was a failure as a head coach. I just think certain things got to be addressed, and until those things get addressed, because it wasn't always the coach. You know what I mean? There's some things that got to be done,
Mm-hmm.
player personnel wise. But I think I look for them to take a step back, but ultimately, I still think it'd be a successful season, regardless. I know some people saying it's championship or bust with the Knicks, but I kind of disagree. If your goal is to say and win a championship, sometimes you gotta digress to get some stuff going. You got to take a step back to get a step going forward. So that's my opinion.
Okay, fellas. Now he's won as an assistant. He's never won the championship as a head coach. He won one with the San Antonio Spurs, three with the Golden State Warriors, but we know he got the Cavaliers to the finals in 2007, and they lost to the Spurs. Now, my thing is this, fellas, is this a upgrade? Do you consider this an upgrade from Tom Thibodeau, or do you think that pretty much it's the same?
I think, like I said earlier, I think it'll be even keel. I think they'll come in and the mentality might be a little different, but I think the results will still be the same. I still think they'll be right where they were last year. The only difference will be Brown will have more confidence in playing more players in crunch time versus the previous year where they only played seven, which means your team will be fresher. Your team will have more confidence. I think, like I said, if they get everything ironed out to where they get the help they need off the bench and get the confidence of going 8 or 9 deep, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll make a major push. But we'll see how Brown builds that team because they're gonna go as their coach goes. So if the culture is because if you notice with Tibbs, they played hard defense. They scored when they had to. I still think they need another scoring punch because I think there's a lot of shot decision making that's got to be better, especially on Cat's part. It's got to be better shot decisions, especially in crunch situations when other teams get on in the middle of a run. You can't take logo threes in the middle of other team making a run. It doesn't make sense. So we'll see. I still think they'll come out even kill though.
Now,
Yeah,
Brunson, fellas, do you think that uh, if they're going deeper in the bench, Brunson is kind of he's kind of injury prone. This will help him. So in the long run, do you fellas think that this is probably the best move for the Knicks?
I think so. I think for the most part, in order to build confidence in your bench, you got to play your bench. You have to understand what you have at your disposal before you can play them. So, what better opportunity? They make your squad, which means obviously they can play. So, why not give them the opportunity to showcase what they can do in an environment where you're trying to build a culture to where everybody plays and you give yourself a better opportunity to win. It just makes better sense to me. What you got on it, MJ?
yeah. I mean, like, as far as with the other question, I just think that as far as the trade off, like I said, man, Brown is he's a journeyman. I don't to me Tibbs, man. I think, in my opinion, I think he's a better coach. That's my opinion, and I think that the Knicks are going to take a step back. And then when we're talking about player personnel on the team, yeah, it would be cool to sit and have somebody come in for Bronson and stuff like that. But sometimes players aren't playing for a reason. You know what I'm saying? There's some players that are not playing, even in the NBA, where they all supposed to be good because they're making a couple 100,000 or a million, salary. But that don't necessarily mean that they're all good and they can play. So there's something going on with their roster, and we'll see if Brown's sitting and put those players out there and they succeed. Then we'll sit and say, hey, Brown is the better coach. But the way I see it right now, Tibbs right now has got the most out of that squad. I think for Brown to be successful, he's going to have to change some things on that back end of that team. When I say the back end of that team, that's the bench for him to be successful.
All right, fellas. Sticking with the theme of the NBA, I see you, Mike, your background. the Thunder there.
Thunder.
As we look at the moves that have been made through the drafts and some of the trades that have taken place, who do you think has set themselves up to, make a run or push at the NBA championship next season? What teams do you like as far as the moves that they've made?
Um, I still think Oklahoma City is geared for the future. The way they've built their roster, they're young, they're talented, they got a lot of energy. They just showed you that they're scrappy even on the road, even when they go behind and lose game one at home, we can still scrap back and win a series. This is going to send a message to the league, to the other teams that these guys are going to be here for a while. It's a whole different animal that you got to deal with. Um, I still think Denver will be a factor. I still think Denver is not quite done just yet. They're going to go through and do some revamping, but I still think they'll be a factor. But another team that's going to be a factor is going to be the Rockets. I think the Rockets will be another good factor with the Celtics old coach coaching them, and I think that he's making a difference with how they approach the game and how they play the game. So it's just going to be the Western Conference again is going to be a toss. Now the Eastern Conference, we'll see. Uh, it's wide open with the things that's been going on. Uh, it's hard to tell who's going to do what. Philly is Philly. They're going to be Philly. They have a moment where they look like they're going to be world beaters and then they disappear. I think the Bucks will make a resurgence. I think the Bucks will resurge as a dominant Eastern Conference foe. But as far as the clear-cut winner in the East, it's hard to say. Hard to say right now. So we'll see what happens. But right now, I got and I don't say this too often, but right now in my bones, I got Oklahoma City doing a repeat. That's what my gut's telling me. Oklahoma City in a repeat. What you got on it, MJ?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with what you said, man. I watched the summer league game, and I was listening to the announcers, and I was watching the game. I think Oklahoma City against, I think they was playing against Memphis. I could be wrong about that, but they had players that they played a lot last season, like early in the season and throughout the season, but we didn't hear much of them during the latter part of the season and in the playoffs. But they are loaded and they added pieces. They got pieces, so they are geared. Even before what they had in the summer league, they have built that team to go the distance. You know, and I hate to sit and jump on this, man. The Lakers had that opportunity to do the same thing, but they didn't do it, and they let the opportunity get away. And so I think Oklahoma City has done the best. I mean, really, they didn't really have to do a heck of a whole lot, you know, to make their roster any better. But as far as any other teams, man, that I think is probably making a difference, it's hard to say, man. When I look at the Eastern Conference, man, I look at what Boston did to their team. Like they butchered their team, just butchered it. You know what I'm saying? You lose to what was it, Indiana? Was it Indiana or Cleveland? Whoever they lost to. Yeah,
Indiana.
it was Indiana.
They
Yeah,
lost to
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yep.
Yeah, and so you just take, instead of just peeling a band-aid off and then they just ripped the band-aid
Hey,
off,
what's New York?
you know. And then Indiana, man, they got an injury going on. They lost Miles Turner, and so
Take
I
that back.
really,
Boston lost to New
Yeah,
York.
well,
Lost that. Take
yeah,
that
that's what I
back.
was
Boston
thinking. I
lost to
said,
New
wait a
York.
minute, I don't think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
lost to New York, yeah. So I'm like you, Tom. I think I get a nod. I can't give a nod to any particular team, But if I'm gonna give a nod, I'm gonna have to give it to the conference. I'm gonna say the Eastern Conference seemed like they built their resume. And as far as what the Western Conference, yeah, they built their resume up. And I think from the Eastern Conference, I just don't know, man. I really don't know what Cleveland has done in the offseason because I think that they just had to do something that was a piece, or whether it's coaching. That I think they was kind of in the same, uh, trying to figure it out like the Knicks were. Cleveland was because you don't sit and win all those games during the regular season, then you get to the playoffs and you just give a goose egg. So there's something going on there. So maybe they done something in the off season, whether it's a coaching, whether it's players. But I think if I'm gonna go with anybody that maybe has, I think secretly, I think Cleveland has done something bolster that chances of winning a championship. But I don't know. But overall, I think the Western Conference probably overall, from what I've seen so far through the summer league, I think they probably doing the best, doing the most as far as what we're seeing for the future.
I agree. I totally agree with you guys. I as we look at the champs, I think the champs are solid. They've done what they had to do. They uh gave man the MVP, that big contract, 285 million. They got Williams back, signed him. And they pretty much stayed solid, man. So I think these guys, and then in the draft, they picked up some nice pieces too. So I think these guys are set. Like you was talking earlier, Mike. I think these guys have built something for the future, man. And I think these guys are trying to set up a dynasty out there in OKC. But I will say this in the East, I think the Knicks, I think they'll be back. I do, but I think it's gonna be harder. I think it's gonna be, I really think my Bucks are gonna surprise a lot of people, man. Snatching Miles Turner away from Indiana, and then bringing, of course, Bobby Portis back and some more pieces. I think that, man, it's gonna be a shocker. A lot of guys been talking. I've been hearing these guys talk, and they say they don't think that Milwaukee, did themselves any justice. Like, they didn't, get better. And I'm like, how can you say you didn't get better when Brook Lopez is going with the Clippers now, and you got Miles Turner, a guy who's younger, a guy who's faster. You know, I think that they've gotten better. That's just me.
All
But
right,
I
let me
still
ask you.
think it's gonna come down to OKC, and I got OKC right back there doing it all again.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question, guys. And this is how long has Brook Lopez been in the league, man?
Brook been
I'm
around a minute, man.
Him and his brother both, Brooke and Robin, has been
Yeah.
around a minute.
man. Haven't they played for every team? Almost.
They've played for not they've played for a couple, but Robin more so than Brooke.
That's crazy. Some players get a 3 year or 2 year contract and that's it. And then you got this guy. I guess it pays to be 7 foot, whatever, and can shoot threes now. I mean, to me, he would have been gone out the league. It's my opinion.
Brook Lopez,
Yeah, that's my opinion.
yeah, 17 seasons. 17 seasons.
Man, oh, he
Hey, remember Brooklyn Brook?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was, when he's with the New Jersey, man, he was terrorizing them.
Now he was cool with them.
Yeah.
But he I mean, why wouldn't the Lakers try and pick him up, man?
I think there's talks of the Lakers getting Brooke, I think.
That was the plan, but the Lakers got Aiton now.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, the Clippers got him now. See,
But see,
he an LA guy. He's born
but,
in LA.
but
Yeah.
see, you guys know too. LeBron had to sign off on that, so he must not like Bruce.
Well, you got to understand too, like we just talked earlier, it's not about LeBron now. This is about Luca.
Hey, until LeBron say I am retired, he's still making some decisions.
Le
Look, Bronny probably might be more in the rotation this year. And that's because
Bronny,
LeBron said so,
the
like Stone Cold
listen,
said.
listen. Bronny is gonna be trade bait. That's what Bronny gonna be.
I don't think he's going nowhere, man.
I believe he's about out of there, bro. I think he's gonna be key and instrumental in getting some better pieces in LA to run with Mr. Doncic.
Hey, so who you think is quicker to go? Bronny or JJ Reddick? Who's out there first?
Bronny. Bronny.
Yeah,
You're
right.
looking at a guy that's averaging for his NBA career that he started, what, maybe 4 points a game, maybe
Yeah,
six,
but he's
maybe.
doing better, man. He's doing a heck of a whole lot better.
Dude,
He really is.
listen. Dude, listen. No,
I
no,
think he is, Tom, man. I think
dude,
he just got to get some
no,
playing time.
dude, no, no, no.
Fellas, I'm gonna tell you something. I really think that it hurt him. The fact that first of all, he in the shadow of his dad, you know. But I think it hurt him not staying in college. I would have went ahead and stayed in the college. But of course, what they wanted to do, the dad and the son playing together, uh, he should have stayed in college and it would have helped him
Hmm.
because it would have prepared him more for playing in the league, I think. And then,
Because,
of course, he need to go down to G League. He went down there, he came back up, but he needs playing time, like Mike says.
but keep in mind this, like you said, that was the first part of that statement was key. He should have stayed in college because number one, you were not dominating the college game. If you're dominating the college game, that's different. But you weren't dominating the college game. You were playing you were basically a role player on the college team. That tells me, no, you're not ready yet. You're not ready to, you're not ready for the keys to the Cadillac yet.
He
You
got,
still
he
got you
got to
still
drive the
got the
pacer.
keys to the Volkswagen.
He
So
got to drive the Yugo.
that's right.
Hey,
You gotta build yourself up to the Cadillac.
hey, and I'm gonna tell you something that I heard Kevin Durant and I think he was maybe talking to Steven Jackson. The days of 6'2" guards, unless you Kyrie Irving or somebody like that,
We're
those
done.
days of guys, and it made a lot of sense. See, now these guys are a little bit bigger, taller. Unless you're just a special player at that height, it's hard to defend. And I was listening to Kevin Durant was speaking about it. He said they would sit up there and run play after play if like Bronny had to sit and guard KD. I mean, they got to figure out how to match that up. And to be at 6'2", you got to be like a Kyrie to be effective in the game, or like a Devin Booker. That I think Devin's 6'4", 6'3", but or 6'5". But you got to be a special player at 6'2" to be able to make a difference. So I don't think Bronny is going to be anything special in the league. I just don't see it. Whether he gets better and come out the bench, he just don't even handle the rock that good. So I,
No.
I I think he's limited to what his future is going to be in the NBA.
And that's why I said for me, he can be trade bait because
Well,
there is
who
no
gonna want
future.
something like that? Trade
Uh,
bait for what?
Charlotte.
He said
Michael
Charlotte.
Jordan. Michael Jordan's not the GM
Char-
anymore. Okay.
Charlotte. Uh, the Pelicans. Because they desperately need some help.
The Jazz. How about
The,
the
the
Jazz?
Jazz, yeah, they need some help too. Man,
So
I
they,
gone
mean,
are
in
the
other
days of
words,
stock. Jack, gone are the days of Stockton and Malone.
I just don't even see where he's good at. I mean, can he run pick and roll real good? Can he sit and cross over and dribble like
Now,
Kyrie? Can he can
let
he
me
break a big man down? I
let me
mean,
let me educate you on what's possibly getting ready to happen again. And I heard this when Bronny came out. There was rumors that Braun was trying to wait on Bryce so they can bring Bryce in as well. I'm like, there is no way I want to see the LA Jameses at all, period.
I'm gonna tell you about Bryce game. Bryce, he plays okay, but for the size, he ain't like no thunderous. He ain't like his daddy. Even his younger son is not like his daddy in high school.
Bryce's game is completely different. Bryce is a great shooter. Bryce is a sniper. He's not the go-getter dunker. Bryce is a sniper.
Yeah.
So he's got a better shot than even what LeBron does. So
I mean, I think Carmelo's son is a heck of a whole lot better than either one of LeBron's sons.
Pippen Jr. as well.
Yeah. A lot of them ball players, their sons is way better.
Yeah. This was a experiment to see, is it going to work or is it not? So right now, the latter. It's not. So
hey, question: if Bronny came and they had an All-Star game in Columbus, would you go see him play?
No.
And would you ask for his autograph?
No. I wouldn't even ask for LeBron's autograph. What are you talking about? No, anything James didn't put tarnish on my purple and yellow, man. Come on. You done put tarnish on my team, man. Come on. He want to be on a Laker route, Mount Rushmore, and barely got the championship that he got in LA and ain't been back to an NBA final since.
I heard what they've been saying about that championship that was in the bubble. Even Scottie Pippen said, man, that's like a pickup game.
It was. Because you keep in mind, you played in a bubble. There was no home court advantage. There was no, no
fans.
Exactly. Crowd. You got no fans to back you up. You just in there hooping. That's all you doing. You just in there hooping. Whoever wins, wins.
Hey, LeBron took man, because Caruso just won the championship with the city. He said now I finally won a real championship. Now what did he mean by that?
Because Caruso was part of that bubble team.
Yeah. So what is he meaning by that?
Like I said, it wasn't no real championship. You didn't go to.
You can't tell that to LeBron.
You didn't face adversity.
LeBron said
everybody played in the same building at different times. Everybody played in the same building. You basically rotated teams in and out of one building.
LeBron said that what put him over the top as the GOAT, winning that championship. He said that solidified his status as the GOAT.
So let me ask you this.
Man, they so Joe.
I was just playing, guys.
So let's put this scenario out there. If that be the case, what happens if Steph wins another championship? Do you make him the GOAT?
No.
Why not?
I have no reason. I have no reason.
Now, keep this in mind. You're supposed to be the greatest player in this generation, but you lost a unanimous decision to Steph Curry. Unanimous. It wasn't close. But you're still the greatest in the era. No.
Why don't we just sit and just give the GOAT to Kareem and let's just stop with the GOAT conversation?
I'm more inclined to be like, listen, if you want the GOAT is Bill Russell. Let it go.
Yeah. Give to one of old heads and let's just stop. Because what it does is it's picking people. People almost like
Bill Russell to go.
Give it to Bill Russell. Let it go.
People are really hating each other at dinner tables. They treating like it's the Democrat and the Republicans, man. With LeBron and Michael Jordan.
Keep in mind, if everybody wants to bring championships, if everybody wants to bring championships to the table, nobody's beating Bill Russell. Period.
Yeah.
It
doesn't even matter to me. Give it to one of them cats and let's just move on.
Hey,
Keep
we
it
gonna
moving.
give it to Bill Russell, man. Bill Russell. I
All
like
right, we
that.
give it to
I
Bill.
like
Bill
that.
gets
Just
I
give it
like
to Bill
that.
Russell and
Bill
let
gets
it go, bro.
Hey, we settled the debate.
let it go.
234 Sports Talk settled the debate.
Bill Russell is the GOAT. Bottom line.
Hands down. Period. As my guy Thomas Boyd can say. Period.
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 All right, fellas, we talked about it. Until the next time, it's been 234 Sports Talk.
Not
Your boy Jeff
2-2-2-3, bro.
Jones.
It's the man, upset specialist in the building, Thomas Boykin.
Always and
Yeah.
forever who? Mike Jones.
You already
And
know
we
what it
Mike
is.
Jones.
are out of here. Peace.
Peace. Peace.